From cities to the state and around the country, authorities say they're cracking down on gang violence in West Michigan. We told you about part of their plan earlier in the hour, and joining me to talk more about it on this effort, U.S. Attorney Pat Miles joining us here in studio today. Thanks for joining us.
Of course, my pleasure.
So tell us a little bit about the focus on gangs. Why now?
Well, we've been focusing on violent crimes for some time, but what really seemed ripe right now is the heightened awareness in the public and in the media of gun violence in particular, as well as gang violence. And so we wanted to show the community and the public that federal, state, and local law enforcement are working together. That's a West Michigan cultural tradition. We're working together to address this problem, and we need the help of the public. The neighbors that know who the bad apples are, we need them to step forward, let local law enforcement know so we can work together and target them. And also to talk about prisoner reentry. There is a component there as well, to call to employers to look to hire ex-offenders so that some of them won't choose to return to a life of crime.
Is that the part about how you want to give ex-cons some of the tools they need to reintegrate into the community? Talk a little bit more about that. Right.
Well, there really is a holistic approach now with ex-offenders. There is behavioral therapy that some undergo when they're on supervised release with the U.S. Probation Office, addressing substance abuse, addressing behavioral issues, as well as addressing job training. And so there are great non-for-profit programs as well as federal programs that are helping in those areas. But you know, as taxpayers, we get such a poor return on our investment when we spend on average $34,000 a year to incarcerate each prisoner, and then nationally the average is within 2 years almost 2/3 are back in prison. So if we're trying to incarcerate, to rehabilitate, and make people become contributors to society, we're not doing as good of a job as we can do. And so we want to try and change those numbers around.
So you also mentioned that you want to engage the communities. You want to try and get people to trust law enforcement more. What are you doing to sort of get out there into the communities and create that relationship?
Right. Well, one thing I did as U.S. Attorney when I became U.S. Attorney last July is I became co-chair of an organization in Grand Rapids called ALPAC, which is where community leaders and law enforcement get together to talk and have a dialogue to address misperceptions from both sides. And so the community is well represented from different ethnic groups and different community organizations to try and have that dialogue. I've also been speaking to a number of community organizations. But we definitely want individual neighbors too to trust law enforcement, to know that we are concerned and we share their concerns. I mean, neighbors don't want to live in fear of violence. They don't want their children walking to school and hearing gunshots or hearing gunshots while they're sleeping. They want to be free from violence. They want to be free from the terror that some of these criminals are committing in their neighborhoods.
Okay, so it's a matter of really coming together and talking about it, see how you can solve it as a group.
Definitely.
U.S. Attorney for West Michigan, Pat Miles, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.